And welcome back to the podcast. I am your co-host Keoni McKeague, and with me today is Jared Shirai, last year's fantasy draft champ, and this is an episode of The Fifth Down. Jared, how you feeling this morning? I think you muted.
Yep, that was me. No.
Yep, Roger. There we go.
It's that kind of morning.
Right on. But anyway, yeah, so we are here for the fifth down. Obviously, football is about to start. We just completed our draft for fantasy. But before we get into anything, before we get into our main topics for the day, got to give a shout out to our partners with W Energy. We definitely could use some W Energy this morning, it seems like, for both of us. Yeah, I was about to say. But yeah, so shout out to W Energy. A fantastic energy drink with none of the crash, and obviously they are partnered with us here, so we're going to give a shout out to them. But you can also help us out and help them out as well by using our promo code, which is Poi N Soy, POINSOY, on their website for 10% off your order. Like I said, you help them, you help us help you with all of this amazing content. I know it's been a little bit since we've been on here, but we're finally back for the fifth down to talk some football. Obviously, see what I'm wearing. It's opening week of the NFL, and I'm so damn excited. But for this episode specifically, we're going to be talking about how our drafts went. How do you think your draft overall went this year?
I mean, Yahoo said I had the best draft in our league, so, No. Honestly, I kind of got lucky. I would say just being the number 2 pick.
Yeah.
I was
going to say, to be fair, Shalimar had the best grade last year, and he didn't even end up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
No, he did.
Actually, I had a pretty good grade. I think I had like the second or third best grade or something. But, I mean, my top 2 picks were literally my top 2 picks from last year.
I'm taking McCaffrey.
I'm pretty sure that was the exact same 2 picks I did last year. I mean, by the time I got to, I think I picked the tight end a lot earlier because everybody started going tight end route, trying to steal things. Yeah. But for me, I think my biggest question mark is the same question mark I have from last year. It's going to be my wide receivers. Because, I got Ayuk, I got DJ Moore, and I mean, that's not bad picks, but I mean, by the time I got to picking my wide receivers, a lot of the ones that you really rely on that get you consistent numbers were kind of gone. So
I have picked Brandon Ayuk as my 4th pick in this. With my 5th pick in the draft, I have DJ Moore.
I mean, I stretched with Ayuk at that point. DJ Moore, we talked about DJ Moore. I mean, I think it was like the last pod that we did, and how you stretched that one last year, and he worked out well for you. So yeah, for me, I honestly thought I had a pretty good draft.
I'll talk a little bit about my strategy going in this year. I had the strategy of because we obviously didn't know what our picks were until the day of, which made it a little more stressful for everybody.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was honestly it was funny because it gave everybody just that little bit more anxiety all the way up until the last minute, especially because we really did it to the last minute, and for some reason,
damn cup. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for those who don't know, at our draft party, we actually did the shoot into a cup for like beer pong style. The bottom of the cup was whatever number pick you were going to be. We could not land shots during this thing, so it took a good minute before the draft picks were set. And obviously, we had half of the people not there, so we had representatives for those. That was taking a long time as well. At the end of the day, picks finally got made, but it took a long time. For me personally, I had the goal of going very wide receiver heavy. So now that we're done with the draft, I can say that was my goal initially. And then, of course, I get the 4th overall pick, which I really didn't want. I'm not going to lie. I really wanted a pick near the tail end of the first round because I kind of figured the top part of the draft was going to be exactly what it was, right? You were going to have like the Jefferson, the Jamar Chase, the McCaffrey straight off the top, right? Then you had guys like Austin Eckler, who was up there, Cooper Kupp, who's returning, Tyreek Hill, all those names that I thought for sure would be in like the top like half of that draft. But I wanted a near end because I knew I was gonna still get like somebody like Chris Olave, like would have been nice at the end of the or at the to double up on, or getting AJ Brown and like Devontae Adams, or Devontae Adams and Amon St. Brown, or you know what I mean. That duel of wide receivers would have been nice at the tail end of the draft.
Yeah.
But I ended up with the fourth, which sucks because I also ended up with the fourth in 2 other leagues, which is horrible because I basically ended up with the same team for every damn league. Good and bad, I guess, because then, you're not confused on who you have for each league because I had kind of the same team for each one. But yeah, so anyway, so for this one, I ended up with Travis Kelce as my first overall pick.
With the 4th overall pick, I'm going to take Travis Kelce, tight end, Kansas City.
I knew I wasn't going to get one of like my top receivers that I really wanted.
Chase, Jamar Chase.
Tyreek Hill. Taking CeeDee Lamb.
I picked Calvin Ridley. Jax.
Brandon Ayuk. DJ Moore.
Mr. Love, can you throw to this receiver? I got Watson.
And because of the wraparound, I was just like, man, by the time it gets back to me, I don't think the wide receiver pool is going to be as deep as I want it to be, which exactly it wasn't, because I was waiting for like a Jalen Waddle to fall or a Garrett Wilson to fall. Those both got taken right before me.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen. And Josh Jacobs it was one of those things where I knew, like, I was like, man, I can't do that thing where I just skip out on like picking Josh Jacobs. It was right there.
2nd overall pick, Commish Mafia selects Josh Jacobs, Las Vegas, running back.
Like, I just had to pick him. And then, of course, on the next wraparound, I because of the quarterback scramble that happened right before.
With pick number 22, 21, I don't know.
22.
Jalen, fuck you, Mahomes.
2nd best quarterback in the league since Shalimar stole him, Josh Allen.
I was like, well, now I got to go really early on a quarterback.
With the 4th overall pick, Commish Mafia selects Lamar Jackson, quarterback.
So that screwed up that round for getting another wide receiver. So by the time I picked the wide receiver, it was my 4th round. Still ended up with some solid wide receivers, but my thing was, I was just like, damn, I really wanted to go wide receiver heavy at the top end of the draft. Didn't end up happening. But I did still end up going pretty wide receiver heavy in general. I also had the strategy that apparently you also had, which was I wanted to go defense really early. You took my defense that round. I remember when you told me, I was going to be like, nah, you should just wait. Like, because I really wanted to tell you, like, because I really wanted the Niners defense. So I was like, nah, maybe you just wait another 2 rounds or something.
I would have been so bad at you, bro.
But you seem so set on it, and I was just like, he's gonna pick them right before I wanted them. So you got him on that round. I was literally gonna pick him with my next pick, so I was just like salty that you picked them.
That was good.
Overall, kind of looking over, I know it's a lot. If you could do it really quickly, is there anybody that stood out to you as kind of like the big loser of the draft? Well, if you're not ready, I think I got one.
Who you got?
This might tee you up for who I think is a big loser. I mean,
okay.
God, I feel so bad because he was in auto draft too, and he wasn't really there. It's just okay. He doesn't listen to our pod anyway. I'm gonna say my big loser. My big loser of the draft was Mike. He did end up with some solid picks in there
in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning it was solid, but near the end of the draft, his picks were all over the place. And obviously it was auto draft, so it was whoever was best that was available for him. But yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was like, his team for me was kind of a miss.
I mean, I was looking at dynamics because, like, I mean, the 3 quarterback thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You sucked.
Like, Keely, 3 quarterbacks, bro. You couldn't waste one on a good quarterback, but you know.
I don't know. Yeah.
But that was it. That was interesting to me. But yeah, I would say like Mike's one too. Like I know, and like so I was only looking at the top half, like 1 through 7-ish, because that's what my thing is showing. I was like, man, his top 7 picks were not like horrible for Mike. But then like you said, as we went on, like it was kind of one of those, you know, like his is one of those. Taking like, Juju was like one of those like like me taking Valdez Scantling at the ending. You know, at least I took him in the 14th round.
Yeah,
Like Juju
exactly.
went 9 for him. So
Yeah. Obviously, we're gonna. I don't want to say winners of the draft because you're gonna just pick yourself. So, it's like, but I was like, I'm.
I'm interested to see dads
Oh,
because
yeah.
he like Bijan, he's got Deontay. He took Deontay instead of you,
Yep. Yep.
and like even like man,
But
he has
he got him on the wrap, which is good for
yeah
him. Like that's what
yeah
I said. I was like, he got him on after I had already picked him. So that's why I said it was one of
yeah
those. I was like, oh, solid pick for him.
like Pacheco. I mean, and you never know with Beckham, right?
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, and
He
then,
had
dude,
two.
he even got a Singletary, and I think Singletary's a great running back.
His big steal that I was like, damn, that was a good pick. Was Adam Thielen because I was like, damn, for Adam Thielen to fall that far and him being kind of like the veteran guy in North Carolina. Obviously, Bryce Young, very young quarterback, not sure how he's going to do, but
Yeah,
if
but to
like
have a
that's one of
veteran like
those
that, that's going to be
to
your
have a guy
target
that
kind
could
of thing.
possibly be the wide receiver one on any team that late in the draft is pretty damn good. Like I was just
Yeah.
like, that was a good pick for him too. Shout out to Pops, always has a good draft. It's annoying.
I know that's why he's gonna do it again, where we're gonna get annoyed
yeah,
because he's gonna be
last year's
undefeated
regular
at the
season
beginning.
champ. So
For
we'll
real.
see how this year ends up. We'll get him back on the pod eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you had a great draft. I think we in general had a very awesome draft. Definitely going to round 2 next year for this draft team, for this draft group, because that was a good time. But yeah, it was a good time. I'm glad it's over. All the stress can just fizzle out and we can just watch some football now. This is opening week, so we're going to probably record another episode that'll be ready by probably Tuesday, maybe. I don't know. We're trying to figure that all out. But anyway, thank you for joining us on another episode of your favorite football in IRL and in fantasy podcast, the 5th down. We thank you for joining us here again. Go check out Dubby. Put it in there. Use the promo code. You can help us out. Help us out. Help us help you.
Help us help you.
Help us help you. Give you this amazing content. And again, I'm gonna shout out to Jared for being here for the pod. As always, it's been a pleasure. It's been a joy from all of us here at Poi N Soy.
Good vibes and love.
Bang bang.
Shoot.